Hey, what's up, everybody? Wait a couple seconds here and see if anybody kind of pops on here. I know it's just a little impromptu live here that I wanted to do kind of before Jason and everybody else kind of gets going tonight. So hopefully we'll be good to go. So, what's up, Dusty? How's it going, bud? Glad you could pop on. So far, just you and I. So, all right. So I'm just gonna Castmate, how's it going, bud? Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it. Jack of all blades, how's it going? Thanks for the super chat last night. Appreciate that. So right now, I'm just gonna do a little live before the wife gets back home. Loch Ness, how's it going? Um, so I thought I would do a quick little live stream here before Jason does his stuff tonight, and in honor of him, I'm going to pour the batch B517. So, hey, Mike. So I thought I would pour that, and then before I kind of jump off, something that we kind of did that was fun the other night. We did a podcast with Jim Shannon, who runs. Him and Randy run the Bourbon Road podcast, and we kind of did a blind tasting, and that podcast will be coming out pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. If you guys listen to many podcasts, I'm not sure if you do or not, but it's a fun one. They mix in a lot of kind of different. Hey, Jace. They mix in a lot of kind of really interesting topics, not always bourbon related, but they mix in some stories, some backstories or back history on different things. So they try to make a good blend of both bourbon and then other kind of general related type of things. So I would just say, and Jason popped on, we did this this blend the other night. So I'm gonna drink that here in a little bit. But first, in honor of Jason doing the B5 or the B519 Elijah Craig barrel proof tonight. So which is a good one. So this is the batch B517, comes in at 124.2 proof. So it is one of the lower ones, and I think if Jason, let me know, is the B519, is that the one that came in at 122 proof? It was maybe the lowest proof barrel proof Elijah Craig that they've produced so far, but I thought the 124, 122.2. So, and then I think the one prior to that, the A119, I thought was like 130, maybe 135 proof, something along those lines. So, hey, Eric, how's it going? So anyway, cheers to you guys. I know for some it's a little bit early, especially the West Coasters, but for us it's approaching 5 o'clock. So and like they say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So cheers to you guys. Yeah. So Loch Ness, California. So yeah, it's probably for you guys a little bit early. So but anyway, cheers to you guys. All right. So for those of you who may be later in the evening or approaching 5 o'clock, is anybody drinking anything? Or close to midnight. Holy cow. Hey, Karen, how's it going? Yeah, I know it can be, with everybody all over the world, you get these different time frames and all of that. Loch Ness in Canada, I'm sorry. Hey, Captain, how's it going, bud? Hopefully you got my my email. So the other day regarding the samples and stuff. So thanks again for that. But yeah, is anybody who is maybe having anything? What are you guys drinking? Hey, Mark, how's it going? Everyone's still at work. I'm the only one who's kind of shuttered down for the evening. So. Oh, drinking water while studying the business of Scotch whiskey. Oh yeah, your series that you've been doing has been really, really interesting. I mean, that's one thing I always, like to do and watch and see those different types of things. Just the stories behind stuff. I mean, just kind of the learning and really all of that. That's kind of the fun stuff for for me too. And I think a lot of us that are out there are interested in a lot of those things. So it makes just learning about whiskey, in general, a lot of fun. So yeah, that's pretty neat. All right, sorry about that. Just wanted to check and see. I wasn't sure, like, doing live streaming on a phone, if there's a way to keep the chat and stuff up. Everybody. All right, Jason, let's go. You're at your desk. Maybe you're working at home. I'm not sure today, or you're working late, because that's got to be going on close to 5:30 or 6 o'clock for you. So maybe you're just putting in a long one. So, but anyway, yeah. So I guess going back to the Elijah Craig, this is one of those bourbons. I'm not telling anybody who doesn't already know this, especially you guys and ladies, that for the price, in that $65-ish range, it's really, really hard to beat, this pour. I mean, it in today's market, it could easily be, I would say, really upwards of, maybe $80. Could even be, around $100. It's such a fantastic, bourbon whiskey, and the complexity that it has, and really all of that really makes this a tremendous value bourbon. And as we all know nowadays, with kind of the price hike of a lot of bourbon and all of that, that that $50-$60 range has quickly crept up to more of the maybe mid pricing on things. So it's by one of the best value bourbons out there, and for what you're getting, it's an absolutely incredible pour. So they all vary. There's batches. There's 4 releases a year, and they all vary a little bit in proofs and flavor. But again, we would just be getting, or we'd be nitpicking on some of these things. The way we judge a lot of bourbons and stuff these days. So, but anyway, again, it's a fantastic pour. So, but yeah, sorry about that. I'm not seeing any any problems on my end, but I apologize. So yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. So I know I just grabbed a couple things and wanted to do a little quick live stream. So I apologize if it's not the greatest quality. So yeah, it probably is the wind. I probably should have brought my my windsock up there with me so I could put it over top of that. So but good. All right, I'm glad hopefully it's not too bad. I've just got one of the little microphones that plugs into the side of the phone. But yeah, I agree. I probably should have put the windsock on. So anyway, all right. Well, let me kind of finish up the Elijah Craig barrel proof. I wanted to get to the blend that we did the other night. So again, for everybody kind of tuning in a little bit later, myself, Jason from the Mash and Drum, and Dusty Dan Trout, we were in Kentucky last week. Some of you may have seen that we did some lives. We were at Heaven Hill, Wolf Reserve, so we kind of did a few lives just to kind of do some updating and stuff there, and had a fantastic time. And fortunately, I'm kind of now getting back on it a little bit. For a few days, I wanted nothing to do with bourbon at all. We had so much of it. So but anyway, we did a podcast again with Jim Shannon and Randy. Their podcast is The Bourbon Road, and if you haven't checked it out, go check that out. They do a fantastic job with that. A lot of interesting things there. But we did a blind bourbon challenge, and I'm not going to spoil anything for the podcast or anything as far as who won and all that. But we ended up doing a blend, and it really came out kind of interesting. I guess I can reveal the 4 whiskeys that were part of the blind challenge that we did. So I'll kind of let everybody know who brought what. But so Jason had started out with what was called the Single Oak Project. So this is something that Buffalo Trace does, and it's a 90 proof, again, Single Oak Project that Buffalo Trace does. Fantastic, bourbon, really on its own. Have had it. It was really, really good. And again, blinds are difficult because now you don't know, the bias is gone. You're trying to judge it all based on flavor. Then another one was the Henry McKenna, which I think most everybody is very familiar with. Then one of them was the J. Henry 7-year, which is a low to me Wisconsin bourbon, coming in at around 120 proof. And then finally the E.H. Taylor barrel proof. And I think this was the 2018 release. So all 4 of those kind of went head to head in a blind challenge. So myself, Jason, Dan, and Jim and Randy, we all did a blind on these, nosed it, tasted it, all of that, came up with really everything that we like, put everything in order from basically last to first, and that's kind of how we left it. So you guys will have to go check out, now that I've kind of teased it, you'll have to check out, hopefully coming soon, again, the podcast, The Bourbon Road. You can check out and see how all those fared. So oh, you know what, I forgot one that Dan brought was the Four Roses. It was a barrel pick that he got. So it was a Four Roses single barrel. So I knew I was missing one on here. So, and and again, all of these on their own are all fantastic pours. And again, as you all know, when you're doing these blinds, you remove all the bias from the label and you judge it purely on nose and taste and everything else from that standpoint. So that's what we did. Came up with a winner of the group, and kind of went from there. So what we did at the end was we had them all kind of poured into, it was like 200 milliliter bottles. So when they went around and poured everything, we had no idea what any of it was. So at the end of the night, when we were all done, we thought it would be kind of cool to just blend all of it together, and we came up with the blend that Jim came up. I think Jim came up with it anyway. It was called the Roadmap blend. So that was kind of cool, and it's made up of basically high proof or higher proof bourbons, excluding maybe the 90 proof Single Oak Project. But it was if after the blend, had it been up against all of the other ones, it would have really given everybody else a real kind of run for their money. So it came out absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I thought, Jason, you kind of named it. So that was kind of interesting. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to kind of do the blend and really all of that. So but yeah, so we blended them all together, and that's what we ended up with. Jason came up with the name, the Roadmap, and I'll taste that here in a second. So, but I'm just kind of finishing up some of the Pressman. How's it going, buddy? Oh, what else we have? Castmate, you have what's that say? Oh no, sorry. Yeah, sometimes I wish the chat part would stay up on the screen most of the time. So yeah, so you did that with a Talisker blend. It is. It's fun to do some of these blends like this once in a while, because you can end up with some pretty cool and unique flavor profiles for things. So that's one thing that I really enjoy. So all right, so for everybody else on here, I'm still sipping on the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof batch B517, which was a couple years ago named Whiskey of the Year by Whiskey Advocate Magazine. So what's everybody else sipping on? If you're away from work or if you're at home, whatever it is, what's everybody else got right now? Silence, nothing, no one's doing anything. Yeah, the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof for me has to be just one of the Diet Dr. Pepper. Dan's gonna drink some turkey tonight. Good for you. What did Mark say before? What time frame? Yeah, I forgot. The West Coasters, it's still fairly early, so heading to bed. Thanks for jumping on. Or coffee. I feel bad. I feel bad that I'm like the only person drinking anything. Everyone else got soda, water, or nothing, or whatever it may be. So you guys can all live through me. Pressman, here we go. Now we're talking. Now I've got a drinking buddy. Whistle Pig Store Pick. So that's good to know. Yep, figured, Mark, they probably frown upon drinking whiskey at work. That makes sense. Yeah, I know, Eric, it's early for you guys, so that's always one of the issues with that's one of the issues with being on the West Coast, is that you get these doing live streams. It's kind of tough because you're dealing with East Coast, West Coast, and you try to figure out a time where everybody can kind of be doing something. But with this, I just wanted to hop on and kind of have a little fun with this. So all right, what do we have here? Equal opportunity guns. I'm on my way home, then we'll be off for a bike ride. Good for you. I'm a bicyclist too, unless you're talking about a motorcycle, which I don't do. But Karen, what do you got? Equal parts of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof from last year. Delicious. Yes, agree. Capping, with everyone talking it up so much, I guess I got to try to find a bottle of Wow. Yeah, that's a tough one. And that's, I believe, like 144 proof. So something like that. So see you, Eric. Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate it. Dan E just had dinner. Dan, and anything? You planning on having an evening dram of anything? So, talking about the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, is there a particular batch that you guys have had that is your, I guess, call your favorite, something along those lines? Okay, so Dan said the bottle of Wow is 139.4 proof. Yes, that's a stiff one. I mean, you start getting up into that kind of proof, that's a tough one. So thanks, Mark. We'll see you. Yeah, the any of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs are fantastic. So all right. So Jack of all Blades gonna go with a little Japanese whiskey. The Hokushu 12 is calling his name. Good. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Dan, it is good if you can get it. Linux Cat, see ya. All right, yeah, well, I know, Dan. I know you like the real high proof, proof stuff. So, Pressman B518 was great. Bought a few extra. Yeah, it is. It's a fantastic one. And really, I've never had a bad one. They all vary slightly, but there's really never been a bad one that I would refuse to drink. So they're all fantastic. So I had the hazmat but haven't tried it yet. Oh, okay. Well, you probably have a few open bottles that you need to get through before you bust open that thing. So, and that's a difficult one to find. You don't even see much of that on the secondary market nowadays, and if you do, you're paying a fairly hefty price for that. So So yeah, that's a tough one. So all right, so B517 is now down. Let's oh, that's so sweet. There's even like a nice tobacco note to that. So again, everybody for tuning in late, myself, Jason, Dan, Randy, Jim did his podcast on the Bourbon Road, and this was the blend at the end of the night. So as you can see, it's a fantastic one. So I hated the standard Elijah Craig. Really? So Dan, you're not a big fan of? So okay, I mean, I guess when you're trying to compare, I mean, it's night and day. So I mean, the Elijah Craig regular small batch 94 proof on its own is a really nice standard sipping bourbon. If you're not looking to be blown away, then then you're hey Antonio, how's it going? Then it's great to sip on. I mean, I don't mind it. I'm a big Elijah Craig fan. So the 94 proof, if you just want something that's going to give you some nice flavor, not necessarily going to blow you away or anything along those lines, then it's nice to just kind of sip on something like that. But if you want something that's now going to really kind of step up its game, then you get up into the barrel proof, and that's what you get. I mean, now you've got kind of something that's night and day. So, Whiskey Friend, how's it going? So what time is it by you? I'm not sure. I think it's late by you or early, one of the two. Yeah, Pressman, rare breed, can't go wrong with that at all. So, but again, the Elijah Craig, whether it's small batch or barrel proof, you're in the mood for one of the two, and they're going to do their job. So I mean, it really depends on what it is you're looking for. So anyway, all right, let's pour this. I've got a few more minutes, so I wanted to kind of just give you guys a little idea of what this blend kind of smells and tastes like. So, and again, cheers to everybody. I appreciate everybody hopping on here. I know it was a last minute thing, 11 p.m. So, all right, so let's see what we get here. Oh boy, it's so sweet. A really nice spice to it. A little bit of that nuttiness probably from some of the McKenna that's there. Some nice citrus. I mean, I'll tell you what, it's I mean, this on its own, if you could buy this, everybody was talking about being able to try to reproduce this and make this or whatever it would be and sell it, but we all knew that wasn't going to be the case. So, but really, really fantastic. Nice vanilla note. That citrus is really coming out in this one. So, yeah, really nice. Even some tobacco type of notes to it. Really, really nice. All right, let's give this thing a try. Cheers, guys. Just a nice creamy mouthfeel, lot of vanilla, nice spice to that. Even a little bit of like a nutmeg type of flavor. Again, some of those leathers and tobaccos really kind of come out in this one. It doesn't drink like if you kind of took the 5 and averaged them out proof wise. It doesn't seem like it. Now, again, I started out with 124 proof Elijah Craig barrel proof, so it's not super fair. The palate's kind of warmed up, so maybe that's why it's not nearly as hot as it could be. But full of flavor. So really, really nice, well-rounded, bourbon. I mean, if you were looking to buy something, this would be right up. A lot of people's like alley, so to speak. But absolutely fantastic blend here. And we all thought that the other night as well. I mean, it was just a fantastic blend of bourbons, and I really want to let this thing kind of mellow a little bit, let it kind of mingle, and see what it does over the course of maybe the next month or so. If for some reason I can keep it that long, I want to see how it kind of blends, kind of how it maybe kind of becomes a little more refined. Usually, like infinity bottles, which we talked about a little bit last night on the once a month show that we do, another round. That by letting these blends, like infinity bottle type things, you've got to let these things like sit. Just shaking it and mixing it up doesn't really do much of anything. It's something that has to be given some time to really just mingle with everything that's together. So, you know, if you guys are doing, if you're doing barrel proofs and things along, or not barrel proofs, if you're doing infinity bottles, then give that stuff some time. So, you know, allow it to blend, kind of incorporate all the flavors, because it'll really pay off. If you're using good, so Antonio, the longer you can let it go, the better. But if you can give it some time, really allow it to develop, you know, it'll really pay off. And again, if you're using top quality, good, like bourbons or whiskey in general, then you should end up with a really nice blend. So anyway, so I'm happy with this right now, and we'll kind of see how things go with this, kind of blending together and all of that. So, well, we're approaching the 30-minute mark, and I'll probably kind of hop off here in a second, but I guess I just wanted to kind of do a little quick live stream tonight, see how things were going with everybody, and hopefully everybody will tune in tonight, Wednesday, June, I think today's the 6th, I believe, to Jason from the Mash and Drum. He'll be doing his live stream tonight, and he'll be doing the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof batch B519. So that will be a really interesting one. The A119, which I've had, but haven't seen a bottle here, and I haven't seen the B519 hit by us either. So, but again, if it's something that you guys can find, and just sorry, thanks, Captain, I appreciate it. 5th. So too much bourbon when we were in Kentucky. I've got my days and stuff all mixed up. So, but yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for kind of popping on here last minute and hanging out with me for a few minutes and talking whiskey. That's really what it's all about. So with that being said, cheers to you guys. And like I say, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers, guys. Have a great evening, and hopefully everybody will check out Jason's live stream tonight. Cheers.